was right about the shoe. The shoe was not the same in the picture shown in court as the shoe pulled from the evidence bag by Trooper Bukake.
And you mentioned you're at the hospital. There was a sneaker. One.
Yes.
Bukake! Bukake!
Woo! Good late afternoon, my friends. Happy Thursday. It is good to see you guys. I hope everyone is doing very, very well. I'm doing very, very well. Yeah, man. Had a really good day today. The usual, just exercise a lot, walk the clubber a lot. Very, very good day. And it's beautiful out here in Tennessee today. And yesterday as well. What's up, Dina? Glimra! It's good to see you, Dina. Thank you so much being a member for 25 months. Wow. So what we're gonna do tonight is we're going to go over. I deliberately have distracted myself today from reading the texts. I have seen posts that, so I get there's been, allusions, not illusions, allusions towards what is in these texts. But you guys know me. I like to do reactions if I can help it. Then I try to save it and then I'll watch it and react to these things. I'll read them and react to them live with you guys. Joe V13 just became a member. Welcome. I don't know what these texts say. And I am I'm looking forward to seeing what they say, but because I mean, I am reading the room on X. I am reading the room, and the room. It's actually not the camera. Right now, the lighting is fucking perfect because it's the way the sun is shining today in Tennessee, and I have the blinds open. It is coming in along with my ring light, but so yeah, the lighting is just exceptional today. So I'm really grateful for that. So yesterday, no, I didn't go to Dollywood. Does it look like I'm in fucking Dollywood? Fucking with you. Yes. Deb Honey, member for 4 months. I thought you were with Baker. Can y'all just give me a second here? Okay, I'm gonna get to that. Yesterday evening, I went and I met up with Broken Baker, who's visiting here all the way from Denmark. He seems to do this every year for the last couple of years, 3 years, 3 years. And it's fantastic that he does that. People come from all over. Okay. I need you guys to understand something. Okay. The Baker is magical. Y'all don't even know. Okay. Y'all don't even understand. The Baker, there's something very, very, very magical about this man. Okay. Because he manages to make it to Tennessee, not far from where I live. But he manages to make it to Tennessee every year. And people travel from all over to meet up with Baker. And also with Valhalla Awaits. And also with Mrs. Valhalla and the Expert and Mrs. Expert. They are, they're the nicest people in the world. I got to meet in person Kentucky Maverick. Now, I want to be very clear about something now that I'm on the subject. I said specifically, notice that I said Kentucky Maverick. Okay, I didn't say KY Maverick. Okay, because until the guy pisses me off for some reason, I'm not calling the fucking guy KY Maverick. Like, I know everyone who does it because they just realized that it's too late and they didn't think of it, but they keep doing it. And then I can see it on them. I can see it and I can hear it in their voice when they go KY Maverick. And there's like a bit of hesitation that they play off because they know it's weird. They know it's weird. Okay. I'm just going to be the one to say it. And it's not, I'm sure he didn't think nothing of it when he did it. You know what I mean? But listen, the bottom line here is one must acknowledge the fact. Okay, most of us, when we hear words put together like KY and Maverick, okay, the first thing that comes to mind is easy, Cougar. Easy, Cougar. It's just a walk in the park, buddy. Yeah, just ease it on in there, Cougar. Yeah, that's right, buddy. Just ease it on in there, Cougar. You're a liar if you say wrong. You're a liar if you say I'm wrong. You're a liar if you try to make you're an asshole if you try to make me feel weird because that's what comes to fucking mind. It's not my fault. I've seen that movie a million fucking times, and I've always sat there and been like, if you're not watching the movie and you're just listening to it, okay? I went over, I did this, and I'm bringing this back, by the way. I ruined movies, bro, okay? And I did Patreon. I'm going to fucking relaunch that shit. I ruined Top Gun for everyone because I showed how unbelievably gay it really is. Now, not that there's anything wrong with that. I'm just saying I ruined your perspective, your current perspective of it. Now you have to enjoy it on a whole new level. There's no other way. I mean, the volleyball scene. Playing with the boys. I mean, come on. Like, you're blind if you don't see this. Oh my God.
Oh, here we go.
I think we got a super cat. Super cat. I think we got a super cat. Super cat. Super cat. Super cat. I think we got a super cat.
And it is Pride Month. It is Pride Month. Okay. So I want to send out a very, very happy Pride Month to Brian Albert, Brian Higgins. Okay. I want to send out a very happy Pride Month to those two folks, those two lovers. Okay. Because you're blind if you don't think that there's some shit going on there. Now, so I'm calling him Kentucky Maverick, okay? Like that's just what I'm gonna do from now on. I'm gonna throw out the extra syllables and say Kentucky Maverick, okay? That's what I'm doing from now on. Real nice guy. Got to hang out with him. Valhalla awaits. Hung out with him the most, actually. Hung out with Baker a lot, but hung out mostly with Valhalla awaits. Got to meet the other Mary B. She showed up very late, but it was cool. I waited around for her. I had an Uber, and then I canceled the Uber because I heard she was coming, and she was very close. So I was like, all right, I got to wait and say what's up to the other Mary B. So I did, and it was really cool. It was nice meeting her. And then I went home, went to sleep, started my day today. Sarah B. Creative, thank you so much, bro. All the love in the world being sent to you. Don't you dare send me a fucking super stupid sticker. I don't know what to tell you. Yes. Pride Month, we celebrate the fact that people love to put things in their mouth that it wasn't accepted to do so by society at one point. So that's Pride Month. And it's fantastic. Hooray for them. I'm very, very, very happy for the LGBTQ community all this month. But especially Brian Albert, Brian Higgins, 100%. Higgy and Bri. Now, I mean, I don't know. So a lot of shit went down today. A lot. Now I want to get into this case. I'm going to share the news clip and then I'm going to share the press conference afterwards. I promise, guys, we got plenty of time, plenty of time. Real quick, before I even get started, share the big news that Aaron Spencer the case has been dismissed. I know that there's been a lot of people that have been following this case. I know Melanie Little's live talking about it right now. I know that Defense Diaries, the Matas are talking about it right now. And I know that they were very, very invested in this case. And this is the result that they were hoping to get. So justice was absolutely served today. And my man won the fucking sheriff election. So he's going to get to be sheriff. And we're looking at like a real life, like Buford Justice, fucking Buford, whatever the fuck the last name guy was, the walking tall guy, Bridget Pike. Thank you so much. Did you have a good steak and beer? No, I had a burger. And I had 4 drinks total. I had 2 whiskeys and 2 beers. And yeah, it was a good time, man. And it's good because I didn't drink too much, and I felt like shit when I woke up today. But after exercise and plenty of protein, I definitely feel like $1,000,000. Now, real quick, let's go over this. So yeah, big shout out to all those who have been following the Aaron Spencer thing. This is great news for you guys. Aaron Spencer is free. And let's see here. And then there's this story, which I plan on following. This is the case where the cerebral ninja is taking on
judge in Superior Court today. He's getting a lot of support from his fellow officers. But as WBZ's Penny Commit shows us, prosecutors say this was not a case of self-defense.
Mr. O'Malley was not acting in reasonable defense of either himself, the other officer, or the general public, and that the shooting was excessive.
Excessive and unreasonable. That's how the Suffolk District Attorney's Office describes a March 11th deadly police shooting in Linwood Square.
Charging you with voluntary manslaughter, guilty or not guilty?
Not guilty.
Boston police officer Nicholas O'Malley faces involuntary manslaughter after shooting and killing Stephenson King. King was the suspect of a reported carjacking. When O'Malley and his partner located the stolen car, prosecutors say King failed to abide by most.
Do you see that picture that they shared of him? Like, he's a suspect in a carjacking, right? But they share this picture of him like, you know, he's got this whole he's got this scholarship to Harvard that he's about to make the best of, you know? You see what this is what the news does, man, you know? It's all, you know, and I'm not saying this guy maybe, I don't know his circumstances. I have to look into the case. I'm just saying the news always does this, you know? They're they say they describe him as a subject in a carjacking, as a suspect in a carjacking, and they show this picture. I don't own a sweater like that, dude. You know what I mean?
Killing Stephenson King. King was the suspect of a reported carjacking. When O'Malley and his partner located the stolen car, prosecutors say King failed to abide by most commands, backed into a police cruiser, and tried to flee.
Mr. Stephenson King Jr. Did show his hands, but did not unlock the car or open it. And as he was finishing essentially a three-point turn to drive away, Mr. O'Malley fired 3 shots into the driver window and door.
O'Malley told investigators he feared for his life, believing he would be crushed by the vehicle. But Suffolk District Attorney Kevin Hayden says body camera footage shows that fear was, quote, not reasonable. O'Malley was arrested 8 days
I got to
later.
see this body
Nick
cam
O'Malley
footage.
did his job that night with his partner. Make no mistake about it. He was treated differently because he's a police officer.
We're going to watch that whole
Boston
thing in
police
just a second.
officers showed up to court in droves, outraged by the charge. O'Malley's attorney, David Yannetti, calling the prosecution timeline of events sanitized and lacking context.
We look forward to a jury hearing about a violent carjacker who punched a mother in the face while she was trying to pick up her daughter, who stole her car.
Yannetti says we will eventually see O'Malley's body camera footage through the course of what's expected to be a polarizing trial.
We're going to try this case by the book, and we're going to deal with the evidence in court and present our evidence in court.
Listen
King's
to
family
David,
was also
bro.
present
He
today,
was
but
on
declined to
fire,
speak
bro.
with us.
We're about to watch
O'Malley
that
is
whole
expected
press
back
conference in
in
just a
court
second.
On July 23rd. In Boston, I'm Penny Commit.
Bro, that's wild. Hold on, man. I'm fucking invested here, dude. I want to know what happens. I want to know all the details of this case. Now we're not going to do a deep dive into that tonight, but we are going to watch the press conference that took place after this man just pled not guilty.
Here today, make no mistake about it, because of injustice. It is truly unjust that Nicholas O'Malley was forced to walk to a courthouse today when he instead should be walking his beat in Roxbury, meeting, greeting, interacting with, and hearing the concerns of residents there, as he always does, protecting and serving the citizens of Roxbury, as he always does. But instead, because of the actions of this district attorney's office, Nick was forced to walk to court today with his family and his legal team and his supporters to fight this unjust prosecution. He's being prosecuted, again, make no mistake about it, for doing his job. So I am here today to publicly reclaim Nick O'Malley's presumption of innocence. Many of you were present and heard and listened and reported on the elected district attorney speaking outside the courthouse in Roxbury at Nick's prior arraignment. You heard District Attorney Hayden express his opinion from the comforts of his office on what Nick did on the street in a life and death situation. Let's be clear about it. District Attorney Hayden's opinion about whether Nick acted correctly, appropriately, reasonably, and necessarily is irrelevant. What is relevant is the evidence that will be presented in a courtroom, and we so look forward to presenting that.
Wow.
We look forward to a jury hearing about a violent carjacker who punched a mother in the face while she was trying to pick up her daughter, who stole her car, such that she now still has to take Ubers to work, the night shift, to support her family.
Wow.
We look forward to a jury hearing about the choices that this violent carjacker made, the fact that he ignored lawful order after lawful order after lawful order and made the decision to slam that stolen vehicle into a police cruiser with 2 police officers warning him.
Wow. So this is wild. This is absolutely wild. Because right now, like, just look at it from this perspective for a second, right? This is David Yannetti, who just spent the better part of 3 years, longer than that, fighting for Karen Reed, and most of that time doing it for free, fighting an entire local government, and then beating them after 2 trials, beating an entire local government, working his ass off. You'd think he'd be fucking exhausted. And maybe he is. But this dude is on fire right now. Whatever is going on with this case has this man, David Yannetti, one of the most passionate attorneys I've ever seen in my life, very, very passionate right now. After years of fighting what many people would assume would be an unwinnable war. It's wild. Like, it just to see him totally on fire right here is amazing.
That he needed to stop, but he wouldn't. It was very clear from his actions that he had no regard for human life that day. He didn't care who was in front of him, who was in his path, or who got hurt. But Nick O'Malley did. It is his job to protect and serve the public and to make sure that his fellow officer is safe as well. And this man left him no choice. There is no police officer in this country that would have acted differently. And that includes the good men and women who, thank you, have shown up today in support of your brother officer, rightfully seeking justice in this case. I'm going to take a few questions, not many, and then I'm going to turn it over to the union president, a man I respect a lot, Larry Conway.
Do you think that releasing the body camera video will give the public a better idea of what happened?
Ultimately, that will be released. My
Thank you, Joy.
Is that
I'll be sure to check it out.
We'll
We'll go over it sometime tomorrow afternoon.
We're not trying this case in the press. We have not leaked any information, nor will we leak any information. We're going to try this case by the book, and we're going to deal with the evidence in court and present our evidence in court.
David, you called the ADA's recollection of
Look, I mean, the vein popping out of his head here. Look at how this is different. Like, this is a different David Yannetti, dude.
the evidence in court and present
Look at his
that
eyes.
evidence in court.
David, you called the ADA's reckless.
He is angry. He is angry. I am just seeing him like this has my interest completely piqued as to what the facts of this case are. I have to know. I have to know.
Collection of events sanitized. Can you speak about how you felt about what they had to say about today?
Well, I mean, you know, when you're a prosecutor presenting a case, perhaps you don't have the same emotion that would come naturally to somebody defending someone who's innocent of these false allegations. He should not be here today. He should be on the street doing his job as he's always done.
You were talking about the body camera video, how he showed his hands and then hid them again. The DA didn't say that.
Yeah,
Can
well,
you
that's
explain a little bit about that?
sure. That's part of the answer to your question. You know, there is on the body cam footage. You see him put his hands up at once, but they go back down, and then there is lawful order after lawful order after lawful order, many times, all of them ignored. If he had just turned the car off and rolled down his window, as this lawful police officer ordered to him to do very clearly, we wouldn't be here today.
You filed motions seeking access to Stevenson King's criminal history, past cases, stuff like that. Why is that important, and what is the status of those requests at this point?
Well, you know, I'm glad you mentioned that. You know, in Roxbury, for those of you who don't know, we did file several discovery motions. It was very difficult to get discovery.
Thank you, JB the GOAT.
Office. I'm not sure why they hid it from us for this long. We saw the body cam footage and we saw the police reports and nothing else.
More shit.
Repeated requests.
Wow.
So we filed discovery motions.
Yeah, he's sick of this
trying to
shit.
get a judge to say, hey,
He's sick of these motherfuckers hiding shit from him.
Turn this discovery information over to the defense. We're doing our independent investigation, but we need to know what they claim to have. Instead of complying with those requests, instead of responding to those motions, instead of allowing those motions to be heard, the DA's office, in my view, acted in a very cowardly fashion.
Wow.
They
Get him.
the case upon indictment. That's never done. Whenever a case is brought in a municipal court or a district court, the DA's office waits for indictment and they wait for arraignment before dismissing the case. That's just protocol. So it was clear, in my view, that they did that so that they didn't have to provide the discovery for us and they didn't have to have those motions heard. That's all the questions I'm going to take, and I turn it over to Mr. Calderon.
Yeah, that's wild. Way to go, David. Give me 1 second here, folks. Okay. Yeah, man. David Yannetti is on fire with this case. So I am really fascinated and really interested to find out what is going on there. And so the big news today is that Karen Reed has filed a new lawsuit. And so we're going to watch. Oh, Liz 88 just gifted a membership. Thank you so much. All right.
A new chapter in the Karen Reed saga. She is suing the Canton Police Department and state police, claiming a culture of bias and corruption led to her being wrongfully prosecuted. Boston 25 News reporter Ellie Marillo is in Plymouth with the state police response.
Well, this new 87-page lawsuit accuses both agencies of negligence and misconduct. Reed's attorneys claim this case exposes what they're calling a culture of corruption within both departments. Karen Reed is taking legal action against Massachusetts State Police and the Canton Police Department. This new lawsuit not only alleges Reed was wrongfully prosecuted, but claims key evidence was mishandled in the criminal murder case involving Boston police officer John O'Keefe. Reed's first trial ended in a mistrial. She was acquitted in June of 2025. The lawsuit also takes aim at former Massachusetts State Trooper Michael Proctor and former Canton Police Sergeant Sean Good. Reed's attorneys claim both were unfit for positions of public trust, pointing to vulgar and derogatory text messages.
Love you
Superintendent
too,
Colonel Jeffrey
Maine
Noble
rescued
called the
dog
messages
mama.
disclosed in Karen Reed's civil lawsuit racist and sexist in a statement Thursday, saying they do not reflect the values of the department and support his decision to terminate former trooper Michael Proctor. Proctor was the lead investigator in Reed's murder case and was fired from state police in March of 2025. Good, who responded to the scene of O'Keefe's death, resigned from the Canton Police Department this week.
They're in a fight for their life. It's hard. This is a big machine, and it's hard to throw a punch at the machine that's been going.
Reed also faces a separate wrongful death lawsuit filed by John O'Keefe's family. A hearing on a protective order and discovery was continued until July 14th. In Plymouth, I'm Ellie Morillo for your local station,
Ellie
Boston
Morillo.
25 News.
Also this afternoon, the town of Canton tells Boston 25 it has tried to communicate with Reed's legal team, but never got a response. They also say they have not been served with a lawsuit yet. In a statement, the town says it has faith and confidence in new police leadership, writing the department is poised to move further ahead as a modern public safety agency, which the citizens of Canton rightfully expect and deserve. Boston 25 covered both of Karen Reed's murder trials. She was acquitted in the death of Officer John O'Keefe last year. You can find our extensive reporting on those trials and the latest about her current civil cases on our website, boston25news.com.
Wow, bro. Wow, bro. Holy shit. All right, now let's see. I bookmarked some things on X. Because we're about to get into that shit. Oh, and the mighty one, Mark Betterow, will be on News Nation at 11 p.m. Eastern time. So that's exciting. Let me see here. Now let's see. Let me just get to where's the okay, here we go. All right. Now I'm not going to read this whole thing. I don't think, because it's like 86 pages, and you guys already heard Melanie Little break it down, and probably Bob and Ali Mata, you probably heard them break it down as well. So, I don't think you need me to do that. So I am going to. This is the complaint. Karen Reed versus the Massachusetts State Police and the town of Canton. This is next level. This is the next world. And so I'm not going to share the screen because a lot of what people were saying, I got a lot of warnings, and a lot of what people were saying was that it's really, really graphic. I did put a disclaimer in the description but I will verbally say so. This, as I understand it, now I have not read this yet, so I do not know what the exact contents are and what I'm going to be reading. So just so you guys know, if I read something that is going to be very, very hard to listen to, I apologize in advance. But we are all adults here, and if it's too much for you, you're just gonna have to step away. But there is a lot from what I understand. I don't know exactly what the details are, but we're going to explore and go over all of this stuff because from what I understand, it's really, really bad. Knock it off. Okay. So it says here, the not guilty verdict in the Commonwealth versus Karen Read on June 18th, 2025 did not merely end a wrongful prosecution. It shone an unflinching spotlight on something the Massachusetts State Police and the town of Canton Police Department have spent years trying to conceal. An embedded culture of bigotry, misogyny, systemic failures, and institutional rot at the very core of both organizations. As a result of this entrenchment, Ms. Reed now files this action against Massachusetts State Police and the Canton Police Department for their negligent hiring, training, and supervision of biased and corrupt police officers whose actions violated her constitutional rights and caused her immense harm. At the heart of Ms. Reed's claims lies a distressing narrative, one not just about individual rights, but about fundamental principles upon which our society is built. Through this action, the MSP and the CPD will now be forced to answer for their police officers' unlawful conduct against Ms. Reed that is set forth in detail below, but also for the insidious culture of bigotry and misogyny that fostered such unlawful conduct and that has likely resulted in other unconstitutional criminal investigations in which countless unknown others have also suffered. Indeed, the MSP and the CPD have avoided facing this very moment for years. But it's now time for the long-awaited transparency and accountability owed to the citizens of this Commonwealth. Former MSP Detective Michael Proctor and former, as of 2 days ago, CPD Sergeant Sean Good are virulent bigots. Wow. Whose hatred for anyone and everyone different from themselves permeates their every action. They are not officers who occasionally voiced an offensive remark. They are men whose written and recorded communication sent to one another and to a circle of like-minded friends over the course of a decade establish entrenched and unrepentant hatred for women, Black Americans, Asian Americans, Jews, Hispanics, Arabs, and gay people. I mean, that's the whole fucking list, isn't it? Like, listen, dude, that's the whole fucking, like, isn't that everybody? Like, these guys aren't just racist. They're like expert level. They're like expert level shitbag racists, bro. This is unreal. This is unreal. Like, they're not trying to sugarcoat this shit at all. Their unfitness for any position of public trust was not subtle. It was extensively documented and is set forth below, knowable to MSP and CPD long before either agency assigned them to investigate and prosecute Ms. Reed. So think about that for a second, folks. So this is very important, because this is why Karen Reed is holding the Massachusetts State Police accountable, and she's holding the Canton Police Department accountable, because they were aware those organizations, those institutions were already aware that these two were racist fucking shitbags before Karen Reed was even investigated in the first place. Which means that she could have gotten a fair investigation. Which means John O'Keefe, Boston police officer John O'Keefe, could have gotten justice by now. Procter & Good's involvement at the outset of the investigation into the death of Boston police officer John O'Keefe III invariably and irredeemably contaminated it in every respect. As depicted in thousands of written and audio messages that the Norfolk County District Attorney's Office has thus far hidden from public view and far from the inclusive values, and both organizations publicly claimed to pursue, Procter & Good secretly and proudly wore badges of hate. Indeed, bigotry guided their every act as law enforcement officers for years, but such conduct remained disguised by the uniforms they wore and obscured by the support and encouragement they received inside the walls of the very institutions designed to prevent such injustice and protect the public. For the MSP and the CPD, who hired, trained, supervised, and observed those two for years, Procter's & Good's hateful and despicable views were not only part of their own daily vernacular, but were woven through the fabric of their organizations, culture, and everyday conversations. This footnote here says multiple copies of thumb drive containing a selection of the audio recordings referenced herein are attached as Exhibit 1. After telling Good about a multi-car accident in Canton. Okay, so now we're getting into the text messages. So, after telling Good about a multi-car accident in Canton, actually take your time. I saw an N-word was involved, so I wouldn't rush if you're working. Let them die. Holy shit. Oh my God. That guy has absolutely no business being a cop. That is the craziest shit. Neither one of these, anybody receiving those messages and not doing anything about it has no business being a cop. That is crazy. And no, I'm not going to read the word, even though it's not, I just, I know I tell you guys that I don't censor myself, but when I deem it to be appropriate, I reserve the right to deem when it's appropriate to censor myself, and I am deeming it appropriate to censor myself in this instance because I don't feel comfortable using that word. I don't like using that word. And even just a little bit makes me feel weird when I'm singing a Kanye West song or something like that. But I don't like using that word. I hate that word. I can't stand that word. I think it's gross. So I am going to be censoring myself and not reading that word out loud. And I'm glad that I'm not sharing the screen. And here's another one that Michael Proctor sent. My new VP is a giant malignant cunt. I pray to the heavens that some fucked up insect from the Amazon crawls up her vagina, hatches eggs, and the litter kills her by eating her from the inside out. Interesting. And then Sean Good responds with biggest cunt slut. Proctor sends a text to Good, says, referring to his then girlfriend's anus. Jesus Christ, dude. Oh my God. I can't even get, I'm going to have to read these to myself first. Okay, I can't even get fucking near that thing. I make every effort possible. I wait till she's asleep and I try to get at it. I try every effort possible. I try to get her hammered. I can't get anywhere near it. It's starting to piss me off. It's not cool. Now I want to be very clear about something. Nobody, no male friends of mine, family members, nothing ever talks to me about their sex lives like that. And I do not talk to anyone else like that either. And I think it's really fucking disgusting. And I think it screams, I think it speaks volumes of a man's character to share intimate details of someone who, yeah, I mean, it's just wrong to betray a partner's trust like that. It's really disgusting. And it just shows how little respect they have for women in general, that they're willing to speak about the women that they sleep with like this to each other. It's like, and the truth is, my theory on that is that it's just borderline fucking gay. Like this is, I mean, one of the reasons why me and my male friends don't talk like that with each other is because there's a sex. You don't want to talk about sex with your, you know what I mean? It's weird. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like there's an undertone of like at least, tendencies there. You know what I'm saying? Like it's, yeah, nobody wants to be that close. You know what I'm saying? Like nobody's like, it's like crossing swords. Like that's fucking, I don't know how gay that is, but it's fucking, it's there. You know what I mean? It's past the rainbow threshold. It is. I don't give a fuck what you say. You know what I mean? So I'm just saying that these guys have some inner reflection to do. And maybe they wouldn't be so fucking hateful. You know what I mean? Went into Canton High this morning to get a transcript and saw. So this is Michael Proctor saying, went in to Canton High this morning to get a transcript and saw more N-words in 10 minutes than the 4 years I spent there combined. Everywhere I looked, there was monkeys running around. Wanted to ask the woman in the guidance office, where are all the white kids? Where the fuck did all these N-words come from? And he used a word to describe a smaller version. You can use your imagination if you've heard enough slang, racist slang and slurs in your life. And then Sean Good says, eat a black dick. Proctor says, that lady was an absolute cunt rag N-word who had it in for me for some reason. And then Sean Good says, stupid, ugly gook. Jesus Christ. Unfortunately, I know Randolph all too well. Place is a complete shithole filled with N-words and no good N-words. Michael Proctor. She's a Jew, so definitely puts out. Sean Good. Deport their asses. I don't care if they're here legally or what their excuse was. Fucking deport those sand N-words. Michael Proctor. I don't need to read it. Sean Good, just some. I don't. This is. I don't know. I can't say for sure that if I was hanging out with my friends and one of them started talking like this, that I wouldn't punch him in the fucking face. Like, I can't say for sure that I wouldn't do that. You know what I mean? So it's mind-blowing to me that there are people that are this ignorant still. And I see it all the time on Twitter. Twitter's fucking out of control, bro. Like I see some of those, and I'm telling y'all right now, I don't give a fuck if it costs me viewers or whatever, but a lot of people are real fucking cavalier these days with their fucking racism, man. And it's gross. Like, and I'm telling you right now, like, I am not with that shit at all. Now, if there is a creative joke that is racially charged and it's funny, I can handle that because I know that it's not coming from a place of hatred. But I see a lot of hatred. I'm talking about the hatred. We need to fucking learn at the same time that it's okay to fucking make jokes about our differences because our differences do exist. What's wrong with finding the humor in them? I think that that's okay. But where it gets dangerous is where there's a resentment and a hatred. And now you have the right to feel how you want to feel. But it's absolutely irrational, in my personal opinion, to hate someone based on the color of their skin or based on their culture, based on their being products of their environment. I think it's absolutely disgusting. To automatically stereotype and assume someone is less than. This is not any type of thinking that I can relate to. I'm Hispanic American myself. And I take pride in that. And now I think that there's been a lot of like really far left, crazy, unreasonable demands that are expected of people. And that's been really fucking annoying, if I'm being completely honest. And that's not something that I'm a big fan of, but I'm a strong enough and smart enough fucking person to where I can be like, hey, I've never been racist. So all of this virtue signaling and shit, it just rolls right off of me. I just doesn't have any respect. I don't have it. It's not going to give me cause to start hating people and start being like, I'm sick and tired of you and I'm justifying my hatred for you because you have been pushing this woke agenda on me for the last few years. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just not, I can absolutely see that that's fucking, you're pushing that shit way too hard on me, but at the same time, still have enough fucking awareness of my own character to where I've always been cool with gay people. I've always been cool with people of different races and different cultures. I've always been cool with everybody. The people who I'm not cool with are people who I just don't, our characters don't fucking mesh. And that's it. I judge people based on their actions. But I'm not going to sit here just because I'm annoyed with the woke agenda, sit there and allow it to be an excuse for me to start throwing hatred at people and start throwing resentment at people just out of general principle. That's fucking ridiculous. It's fucking retarded is what it is. So no, I'm not with this bullshit racist fucking anything that is fueled by hatred. No, I do not sign off on it. You have the right to your opinions. You have the right to speak these opinions. That, and if that's ever in question, I will defend your right to speak your shitty fucking rhetoric. But you're going to hear what I have to think about it. You're going to hear what I think about it. So, but you will hear from me that you have every right to be able to speak that opinion as loudly as you want. Now let's move on here. Detroit should be destroyed along with places like Flint, Michigan. They are breeding grounds for N-words to run wild. And then Sean Good says, it's crazy. Sean Good is like a yes man. Like, I don't even want to read his because there's no substance. It's just pure hatred slurs, pure hate-filled slurs. One or two words of just pure hate-filled. He's like a nightmare racist yes man is what Sean Good is like in these text messages. It should be Punch an N-word day in Canton. That's the famous one. Should be Punch an N-word day in Canton today out of retribution. Any shine you see, blast in the face. Wow. Like, they're using words that I've never even heard before. I've never heard the slur shine before. Like, that is a seasoned racist. That's a dude that's like, being a racist is a fucking hobby. This is like, he wants to know all the fucking hateful slurs, dude. I've never even heard that one before. That shit's crazy. Oh my God. I don't even want to use that word, man. Fuck. I used it once already and I fucking felt gross. But referring to Asians, all Asians have shrubs between their legs, Michael Proctor says. He says, then he says, America sucks. Hitler was really onto something. Then the fucking U.S. had to step in and ruin it. Wow. I mean, see, here's the thing as well. You're a fucking traitor to this country. Michael Proctor, right there, just committed, as far as I am concerned, fucking treason. Because he said America sucks. And he talked about one of this country's greatest enemy. The most evil adversary that we've ever had to face. And nobody looks at it that way. I see these people waving American flags and I'm just like, are you fucking retarded? That's treasonous, dude. Like, you're sitting here rooting for the guy who we fucking killed because he was a fucking racist, murdering piece of shit. A mass murdering piece of shit. Indeed, throughout the course of their friendship, which dates back to high school, Good and Proctor bonded over the wrapped prism through which they both view their surroundings and the individuals they encounter in their personal and professional lives. These distorted worldviews were shaped by unimaginable hatred and intolerance through which they dehumanized others, often wishing violence or death on them, demeaning them, or even suggesting planting evidence on them to cause them harm. In written and recorded audio conversations beginning in 2013, the year MSP hired Proctor, and when Good was already an officer with CPD for almost a decade later. And for almost a decade later, these two law enforcement officers referred to community members whom they encountered as cunts, fat cunts, real cunts, N-words, dirty N-words, little N-words, referring to children, stupid, ugly, Asians, Asian tard, spick, and Jew chicks. Proctor and Good believe these folks were polluting the neighborhoods in which they lived and worked and where they eventually served. They did more than just subscribe to and act in conformance with their bigotry. They actually memorialized in writing and voice messages to their like-minded friends, not a few communications, thousands of them. They discussed sharing private nude pictures of women and intentionally ejaculating on women while they slept. Few protected classes, community members, or public figures were spared. Good wrote, Boston Mayor Michelle Wu is a little cunt. The governor can suck my dick. And this is Sean Good. New England Patriot owner Robert Kraft is a terrible cunty Jew, Sean Good said. Anne Franks is a lying cunt, Sean Good said. Put simply, they were then and they were completely and unquestionably unfit to hold positions of authority with MSP and CPD, much less to play important roles or, in Miss Reed's case, the primary role in homicide investigations. And despite the CPD, despite that, CPD had received, reviewed, verified, and analyzed these same messages nearly a year ago. Sergeant Good remained employed with full rank as a sworn police officer by the CPD until 2 days ago. And I wonder, that's a real coincidence there. Because if I had to guess, somebody got a call from a lawyer. Somebody above Sergeant Good got a call from a lawyer and said, yo, you better get ahead of this because these text messages are about to drop. I can't stop it. It's going to happen. You better get ahead of this. And so they fired Sean Good. And then 2 days later, amazing. On January 29th, 2022, the MSP of the CPD unleashed these two misogynist bigots on Miss Reed to work on the conflicted and corrupt investigation into the death of Mr. O'Keefe. It did not take long to trigger their hatred and target Miss Reed. Indeed, Proctor, Good, and other police officers and their respective organizations understood the assignment once their fellow cops and friends, Brian and Nicole Albert, Matthew and Jennifer McCabe, and Brian Higgins, referred to as house defendants in Miss Reed's pending federal court action, falsely reported that Mr. O'Keefe never went inside the house. Even though his face was battered and bruised, he had dog bites and scratches on his arm, and he had a severe laceration on the back of his head that could only have come from a backward fall onto a rigid surface in the house rather than a flat front lawn. Law enforcement began immediately targeting and framing the female outsider, Ms. Reed. As the MSP's assigned lead investigator, and without knowing any more about Ms. Reed than she was an outsider and female, Proctor openly exposed his ossified prejudice when he described her to his group chat buddies as a retarded, whack job cunt with no ass that leaks poo, whom they decided 16 hours in the investigation had zero chance of skating. She's fucked, he pronounced. Proctor intended to make the investigation cut and dry so he and his close-knit circle of friends could pin it on the girl. Immediately after Ms. Reed's arrest, Good made the same type of sexualized and dehumanizing comment about Ms. Reed's medical conditions and physical appearance that he said that he and Proctor peddled in the hallways of the organizations on a daily basis. Jesus, every girl will want a brain tumor, multiple sclerosis, colitis, if you can look like that in yoga pants after killing your boyfriend. Wow. Meanwhile, as Good pondered Miss Reed in yoga pants, Proctor seized Miss Reed's phone and launched immediately into a search for naked pictures of her, only to report back to his colleagues and friends, disappointingly no nudes so far. But as he wrote to others as the investigation began, he hoped that she kills herself. MSP and CPD's investigative approach was born out of Proctor and Good's perverse and depraved pattern of singling out and vilifying an outsider while protecting the Blue Line and their families. This was, of course, made more palatable by dehumanizing Ms. Reed. With the help of Good and CPD, Proctor and his colleagues at MSP, including his direct supervisor, Yuri Buchanan, conducted a fundamentally conflicted and corrupt investigation where the goal was to pin it on the girl, and which included rampant violations of policies, procedures, and ethical rules. For example, and as described further below, despite the overwhelming evidence that Mr. O'Keefe was inside the house at 34 Fairview Road, they did not search the home for blood, fingerprints, or DNA evidence. This house was neither processed nor photographed by a forensic criminalist. Indeed, the investigators did not even walk into the crime scene house until a week later, and then only for a forma visit and brief interview of Nicole Albert. No effort was made to secure evidence from the Albert's German Shepherd, even though Mr. O'Keefe's body was found in the front yard with fresh and obvious dog bites and scratches on his right arm. Nor did Proctor, Buchanan, or their MSP colleagues conduct any physical examination of the house defendants or attempt to seize their phones. The investigators did not attempt to secure the crime scene, document evidence, collect biological material, videotape or record interviews, take DNA control samples, geolocate digital devices at the scene, collect electronic devices, secure surveillance footage, create a crime scene log, or maintain even the most basic chains of custody in accordance with well-established investigative protocol. Worse yet, with the help of others at both the MSP and CPD, Proctor and Buchanan manufactured evidence to ensure that Miss Reed was blamed for Mr. O'Keefe's death, intentionally diverting attention away from Proctor's friends and fellow law enforcement officers. This included planting evidence at the scene on Mr. O'Keefe's clothes and on Miss Reed's vehicle to support the House defendant's false narrative that Ms. Reed struck Mr. O'Keefe with her vehicle, notwithstanding that the investigators knew Mr. O'Keefe's injuries were inconsistent with a motor vehicle strike and consistent with a physical altercation and dog attack. Now, I'm going to skip the rest of that. Among other failures, MSP and CPD's delegation of power and authority to those as biased, corrupt, and bigoted as Proctor and Good led to Miss Reed's being wrongly accused of homicide for 3.5 years and subjected to suspicion, 2 arrests, 2 prosecutions, and public trials and public condemnation. Indeed, with the exercise of ordinary care, both MSP and CPD would have known that Proctor, Good, and others were unfit for service from the beginning. Incredibly, Proctor himself acknowledged this fact in 2017 after 4 years on the job, telling his friends, "No idea how I passed the background." Wow. How's everybody in chat doing? Is everybody all right? Let me check on you guys here real quick. Okay. Yeah, this is unbelievable, man. What's up, Sleuthy? It's good to see you, as always. I mean, listen, whoever wrote this filing did an amazing job, because I'm fired up just reading it. It's like, this is direct to the point, very simple. Now, I don't want to. Yeah, this is all stuff we already know, so I'm going to skip all the stuff we already know. I'll read this footnote, though. Originally, Ms. Reed attempted to file all of her affirmative claims against all parties, including the town of Canton and Massachusetts State Police. In one action, she filed in Bristol County Superior Court on November 17th, 2025. That pleading contains all of the alleged facts sufficient to establish all claims against all parties. However, the town of Canton Police Department and Massachusetts State Police refused to waive the 6-month presentment period. And by the time the presentment period expired, the House defendants had removed Ms. Reed's Superior Court complaint to federal court, where it is now pending because the Massachusetts State Police enjoys immunity from federal court jurisdiction. Ms. Reed cannot add these claims to the pending federal court action. Therefore, although Ms. Reed now brings this action separately in Bristol County Superior Court, relying on many of the same factual allegations already asserted, rather than set forth these same facts again here, Ms. Reed simply refers to and incorporates them by reference. Messages sent by Proctor. Even during MSP's hiring process, Michael Proctor could not contain his bigoted views. On February 26, 2013, Proctor wrote to his friends, "Hey, dickheads, just wanted to give you two a heads up that you guys may get a call from a state trooper named Scott Cooper who is doing my background check. Don't know who sick far back they are going to go with this stuff, but didn't want to have this guy catch you off guard." Proctor's friend responded, "No problem, but what are we supposed to say? Last time the Boston Police Department lady was grilling me for exact dates as to when and how long you lived in Brighton, how we pay rent, to who, etc. Anything specific we should be aware of?" Proctor responded, "That lady was an absolute cunt rag N-word who had it in for Bear," referring to himself in the third person and his nickname Bear. Wow. In his friend chat group, "Talked to this guy for a half an hour today, and I would be shocked he pulled the same shit as her just from how she acted with me on the phone." Apparently, MSP did not pull the same shit as the Boston Police Department, who did not hire him during these interviews, because MSP, like, whoever wrote this doesn't give a fuck. Like, just pull the same shit in quotations here. It's snarky as fuck. Apparently, MSP did not pull the same shit as the police department, who did not hire him during these interviews, because MSP hired Proctor. And it hired him at the time Proctor was constantly sharing countless messages with his friends and other law enforcement officers that illustrate the extreme and aggressive prejudices and biases he held against women, people of color, the LGBTQ community, and others. Proctor's views even polluted his thinking about MSP's hierarchy and leadership. If that person is black, they will probably make him the next colonel of the state police. Jesus. Much of Proctor's aggression and hatred, however, was directed at women. In fact, from the time of his hire at MSP through the time he began investigating Ms. Reed, Proctor shared countless messages with his friends about his perspectives on women, discussing sexual partner not wanting to be ejaculated on. That's when you hack off on her when she's asleep, then tell her one way or another you will spray a rope on her. Fat twat, giant malignant cunt. I pray for the heavens that some fucked up insect from the Amazon crawls up her vagina, hatches eggs, and the litter kills her by eating her from the inside out. Micromanage isn't even the word for his twat bag. I want to shove a crowbar up her asshole and let a rat crawl in there. Yeah, this stuff is just hate. It's hatred. Pure hatred. Dangerous. It is. Now I'm going to keep going through these, okay? But it is without question at this point, folks. It can't be argued. It is without question at this point that this person should have never had a badge and a gun. Never, ever, ever should have been even near an investigation on a professional level. or on any level for that matter. Shame on the Massachusetts State Police. Shame on the Canton Police Department. This is disgusting. Like they signed off on this shit, basically. This is what this filing is basically all about. The point is that they signed off on this shit. They knew of this, and they allowed people like this to run around, and they paid them. They put them on a salary, and they paid them, gave them a badge, gun, power, put them in charge of murder investigations. All right, I'm going to keep going. And thanks for hanging in there, guys. I know this isn't easy. It's not easy for me, if I'm being totally honest. I have to be like total honesty here. Full disclosure. I don't talk this way in any way, shape, or form with anyone. Like, not even jokingly. That is crazy. Like, I'll make some jokes sometimes to certain people because I know that it will make them laugh. And then they'll like kick themselves for laughing. You know what I mean? Something that's undeniably funny, but shocking. You know, like, to me, anything goes when it comes to things like that, depending on the person giving the delivery. I can handle some pretty sick humor. And, you know, that's not what this is. None of this is funny. This is just hatred, pure hatred. And these are cops. So this is very, 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 very dangerous situation. Referring to his then girlfriend's and I can't even get fucking near a thing. I make every effort possible. I wait till she's asleep and I try to get at it. I wait till she's asleep and I try to get at it. I try every effort possible. I try to get her hammer. I can't get. I mean, he's describing rape. Like, it's what he's doing. He's describing, like, he's bragging to his friend how he's doing everything he can. Now, the fact that he's talking about it like this to his friend, again, there's a massive sexual undertone there. Like, there's between the two of them. Like, this is why. I mean, if you're fucking gay, man, just be gay. It's totally cool. It's 2026. It's totally cool. It's 2026, bro. Like, it does not matter what you choose to put in your mouth. It doesn't matter to anybody anymore. If it matters to somebody, then they're the problem. You know what I mean? And they're in the minority at this point. Nobody gives a fuck what they think. You know what I'm saying? So, like, and this is why that's dangerous, because these guys, like, they're just not, they're too scared to face this part of themselves, and then it festers inside them, and then it becomes hatred. You know, becomes hatred for fucking everybody. You know what I mean? When you hate everyone the way that these guys seem to, like, it just means that they hate themselves. And they hate themselves because they love the dong. Let's just face it. Like, Michael Proctor and Sean Good love the fucking dong, bro. They like big, fat, fucking semi-hard, floppy, fucking smacking them in the face fucking dongs, dude. That's what they like. Like, there's no denying this. Like, clearly, like, this guy is bragging to his buddy. Like, he's talking dirty to him. He's like, I'm doing everything I can. I'm doing everything I can. I'm waiting until she falls asleep to get into a butthole, to get into a little starfish. I'm doing everything I can, buddy. I'm doing everything that's even humanly possible. Can you give me some ideas? Can you give me some ideas to get into a cinnamon ring? Huh? Like, that's super gay between the two of them that they're doing that. Tell me that's not. Like, this is like, and like, it's like really like old fashioned gay, you know, this in the closet weird bullshit that they're doing. It's like old fashioned gay. Like, it's like, oh, you know, so you want to come over for a couple of beers? Only if wrestling's on. Gotta see the Miz. Oh, he looks jacked, doesn't he? Looks good. Like, that's those kind of guys. You know what I mean? Like, the old school versions of that were like, let's put on some videos of guys in fucking onesie swimsuits fucking wrestling around. Like, whatever the fuck that was. Like, you ever see like JFK, that movie JFK? Like, they're all fucking like watching these weird movies and you're just like, what is going on there? Yeah. Like, old fashioned gay, like totally like in the closet, you know, like, you know, this doesn't leave this room. Okay. Hey, I'm not no fag. Well, I'm not either. We're just doing stuff. What's wrong with helping a buddy out with, you know, a little rub and tug? You know what I mean? That's that fucking old school fucking denying gay, bro. Like, that's what these dudes are. Yeah, like, they're playing fucking, like, this is beyond playing verbal grab ass. Like, this is beyond playing like texting grab ass. This is borderline sexting. This is somewhere between grab assing and sexting. This is somewhere right on the edge of that. These guys are so fucking gay for each other, dude. Look, like, look at that. Like, no straight guy wants to get a fucking text like that from their friend. Dude, if Aiden sent me a text like that, dude, I'd be like, dude, don't fucking text me no more, bro. Like, listen, like, I'd be like, for real. Then I'm not implying that he ever would. I'm saying just an example. Like, I'd be like, listen, dude, like, I think what's happening to you is wrong, bro. But like, I think you need to set some boundaries here, bro. You know, like, I don't want to hear about that shit. You know, I don't want to hear that shit. Like, I'll still fucking come to Boston and go to fucking court hearings and everything, bro. You know, that's cool. Just don't ever fucking text me again. Okay? Ever. I don't want to hear that shit. Like, there's no fucking reason. I can't imagine one man being cool with fucking like, oh shit, who's texting me real quick? What the how are you not going, what the fuck? How are you not doing that? Instead, you're going, oh. Like, this is mind-blowing. No, I'm saying, like, I'm just using Aiden as like an example. You know what I mean? Like, as an example of like, you know, like, even the most unlikely, like, you know what I mean? And somebody who like you support more than anybody, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would still just be like, dude, that's not cool at all. Like, what the fuck about me makes you think I want to get a fucking text like that, bro? Fuck's wrong with you, dude? I don't know anybody. Oh, did somebody gift 5 memberships? Mandy Reardon gifted 5 memberships, folks. Oh my God. Where is it? Here we go. And James Lynch gifted one too. I missed a bunch of these. I'm sorry. Binging crimes, not cookies. Remember, for 7 months, these guys deserve jail time. Turtle Boy was right. I agree. Brass, member for 29 months. When done with this, look at Ted Daniels' posts. In Lemony became a member. Thank you so much. I think I went over all these. Yes, glad you got to meet the boys and girls yesterday. Yes, thank you so much. We got to keep going, man. Oh shit, what's up, Danny? Let's see what else is going on with these fucking bullshit texts. These fucking disgusting motherfuckers, man. Down here, fucking Mississippi. Don't talk that fucking way about a lady, man. We'll fucking stomp you. Put you in the fucking... You end up in the swamp with the gators. You know what I mean? Fucking bullshit around here. Still got to read all these fucking nasty ass texts from these dirty motherfuckers right here. Fucking do this shit all night. Give a fuck. Give a fuck. Gotta hit them goals. Ms. V USMC just gifted 10 memberships. Holy J. Bro, yeah. Yeah, there's a whole fucking on the DL fucking thing going on in Canton, bro. I'm sure of it, bro. Brian Higgins, fucking Brian Albert. I feel like Chris Albert is like weirded out by it, but he just doesn't want to do nothing about it. He's just kind of like, man, you know, like, just, you know, fuck. Oh my God, Prince of Wales, thank you so much. It's a good thing Jay Will was raised right. Yeah. Yeah. Oh my God, man. Just the idea of my mom reading stuff like that would fucking freak me out. Dude, yeah, man. They're all fucking cupping each other's fucking dongs, bro. That's what's happening. They're all reaching around with each other. That's what this is, dude. Get at it while she's asleep. Wow. Roofie or something. Ain't gonna happen. She will pass out at 9 and I will stay up until midnight drinking and watching movies. I could swoop in for the kill when she's asleep though. Pigs I have stuffed. Part of like jacking off is to do it on an absolute pig, not some Brazilian smoke show. Top 12 model. You want a filthy pig that you just do dirty things to. Give me some thick girls with some meat who you can just shit on. I don't even think like that. Like, call me vanilla, you know? Call me vanilla, but that's a touch much. And it's fucking wild that he's fucking sending that to his friend and that his friend's just not completely fucking disgusted by it. Rusty Bed Springs found out the other day I grew up with Good's wife. Her name is in this complaint and Carrie's husband in a neighboring town. Good's wife is a good person. She doesn't deserve any of this. Good is a piece of shit. Wow. Yeah. Well, the same doesn't go for Elizabeth Proctor, though. She sucks. We all know that. During the same time frame, Proctor also prolifically messaged his friends about his similar hatred of Black, Asian, Hispanic, Arab, and Jewish people. After observing a multi-car accident and initially informing Good in case he was on duty, Proctor followed up. Actually, take your time. I saw an N-word was involved, so I wouldn't rush if you're working. Let them die. Literally hate 99% of the people I meet, see, and deal with. The dudes went into Canton High this morning to get a transcript, and I saw, okay, I think I've already, yeah, we already read that. You notice that N-word's headband from A&M said something like "Cash me out." Would have been nice if they were still our. Would have been nice if they were still our slaves. Then I wouldn't have to go pick up Bertucci's. Hey, N-word, go fetch Bear his wings and pizza. Jesus, that place was a dump. Smelled like N-words and cigarettes. Another plane was brought back to the gate because of two sand N-words speaking Arabic, and people on the plane were freaked out and had them kicked off. If an American pulled some terrorist act in the Middle Eastern country, they would have their heads chopped off in the middle of their closest major city for all the citizens to see and cheer on. Instead, this person will get lethal injection in a secluded federal prison and be viewed as a hero to all the word up, dudes. Been just crushing business shit today. Actually, not really. Just been dipping and trying to make sense of what the Asian next to me is saying. Deport their asses. I don't care if they're here legally or what. Their excuse was fucking deport those sand N-words. The NBA is a god awful and is a fucking joke. These super teams and the refs are ruining the league. Plus, it's all N-words. All I have to say about Hernandez is stupid spick. This is how fucking stupid she is. We got a new intern. Kid is complete lemon dick who has been there 1 week. She drags him into her office and asks him for advice on how to bring the group closer together. There are 4 people who the rest of us hate, and it's obvious. 3 out of 4 are Asian. Surprise, surprise. Wouldn't mind being an N-word for the day. Just pop open a fire hydrant and suck down a few 40s. Oh my God. It just goes on and on and on. More Hitler stuff. Oh my, like some of this stuff is just like, I'm not even gonna, there's no need. It's all racist, like all of it is hate. Like it's not just some bigoted bullshit, like people fucking, once in a while making a joke just to fucking shock their friend. There's none of that. This is all just 2 hateful motherfuckers with badges venting to each other how much they fucking hate everyone else. And it's mostly Proctor, lead investigator in the Karen Reed case. We are going to take a brief intermission, folks. Give me just 1 second here. All right. Okay. This is just fucking crazy. Um I'm skipping through a lot of this because I just don't feel it's necessary. In addition to these horrific statements indicating the extent to which he believed those with backgrounds and characteristics similar to him, white male, were superior to others, women, non-white. Proctor also wasn't shy about his other proclivities that made him patently unfit for service, including that more than once Proctor discussed planting coke on people and shoving a nightstick up someone's ass. Proctor recognized his inadequacy in 2017, writing that he had no idea how he passed the background, although he did explain that MSP detective units do the background checks for applicants. They allowed a girl into the next academy who admitted to using cocaine and ecstasy. Recently used those drugs. Message sent by Good. Sergeant Good was now the message is sent by Good. Sergeant Good was no more discreet about his own biased and deranged views. Like Proctor, and while CPD officer Good regularly referred to and discussed women in venomous ways, cunt, fat cunt, real cunt, fucking cunt, the biggest cunt slut. Boston Mayor Michelle Wu is a little cunt. Wait, she's sending you nudes? Send them. If Lisa would let me see her cans and actually take a photo of them, I would send them. We are family here. Cans. Okay. No straight man refers in the 21st century. No straight man refers to breasts as cans. No one does. No one does. Jojo, they are horrible human beings. Member for 17 months. Yes, thank you so much. You're right. You're absolutely right. He also displayed the same racial and religious supremacist viewpoints as Proctor, which, like his misogyny, impacted how he viewed the members of the public he encountered on a regular basis as a police officer. Among others, Good sent these messages while he was a CPD officer, referring to Robert Kraft as a terrible cunt Jew, N-word, can't deal with the Asian land. Jews controlled that election. She's a Jew, so she definitely puts out the Jew chick. Stupid, ugly Asian Jew fucker. Eat a black dick, eat an Asian dick, Asian, very Jewy, Asian, blah, blah, blah. It just goes on and on and on and on and on. And Franks is a lying cunt. What? Okay. Yeah, this is just Nazi rhetoric. Now, how are the blacks down there? Very blacky, Sean Good said. Good also shared similar disdain for homosexual members of the community in Canada and elsewhere, referring to them repeatedly as, like Proctor. Good exhibited more in these messages than just his bias and hate. He also showed that he lacks the basic discretion and neutrality required of a police officer deputized to protect and serve all members of the community, regardless of skin color and ethnicity, gender, religious beliefs, and or sexual orientation. As just one example, in 2022, as an 18-year veteran of CPD, Good shared his views in writing on Sandra Birchmore, a young woman who tragically died the year before in Canton and whose death was initially ruled a suicide until federal authorities discovered that multiple officers from neighboring town Stoughton's police department had been sexually abusing Miss Birchmore since she was a minor. After federal authorities investigated, they charged a former Stoughton police officer with her murder, and her death is now classified as a homicide at the federal level. The Norfolk County District Attorney's Office early this year changed her death from suicide to undetermined. Against this backdrop, Good told his friends that chick was borderline retarded. Good also helped his friends avoid repercussions for what appears to have been their regular practice of driving drunk. Sobriety checkpoint on 138 by the trail side tonight. Please stay away tonight. Can't help you if you get caught. Too many troopers and Milton PD. Keep this info between us. Wow. He apparently relished his ability to use his institutional power, authority, and access to illegally obtain information about women he encountered in his daily life. Writing in 2015, haha, can't wait to look this cunt up tonight at work. MSP and CPD knew or should have known about Procter and Good's bigotry. Procter and Good's biases, bigotry, and personal histories were known or should have been known to MSP and CPD when they hired, trained, promoted, and supervised them. Not only were the MSP and CPD on notice of Procter and Good's troubling views and intolerant attitude towards various members of the community, they were sworn to protect and serve during the underlying investigation into Mr. O'Keefe's death. But Procter's supervisors knew Procter had a close relationship with the Alberts and that Procter made no secret of his bias against Miss Reed, demonstrating a clear prejudice against her from the outset. For this part, CPD refuses to acknowledge its role in this debacle of investigation or recognize the significant flaws in its hiring, training, and supervising practices, illustrated by Good's continued role as a sergeant for the CPD until 2 days ago when, upon information and belief, CPD was informed by MSP's counsel that this complaint would soon be filed. Helpful right to the end, CPD then permitted Good to resign 2 days before the filing of this complaint. How about that? Look at that. So, what did I say? For its part, CPD refuses to acknowledge its role in the debacle of an investigation where blah, 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 blah. Upon information and belief, CPD was informed by MSP's counsel. So they believe that the Massachusetts State Police, their attorney, contacted the CPD and gave Good the opportunity to resign 2 days before the filing of this complaint. And so rather than firing him and thus saving him from the reputational and financial implications of being terminated for cause. As for the MSP, both before and during the Procter-led investigation, his immediate supervisor, Buchanan, provided his annual employment reviews true to form. Despite knowing firsthand the extent of Procter's unlawful conduct, bias, and bigotry, Buchanan repeatedly and falsely wrote that Procter has handled himself with the utmost professionalism and with strict integrity, and confirmed that they had successfully discussed MSP's policies concerning anti-harassment, sexual harassment, and discrimination and diversity, among others. Now, before I continue, I have to make a point. I have to discuss something here. Folks, what's up, Kasi? Good to see you, buddy. So what I'm seeing here is very, very fascinating, because the fact that the MSP, I'm not shocked that the MSP gave Sergeant Good or gave the Canton Police Department a heads up. That doesn't surprise me or shock me one bit. But one thing that I've never actually seen is something that's very telling, that it comes off as though the Canton Police Department signs off and protects its racist employees. I'm going to say that again. This action of the Canton PD allowing Sergeant Good, once they've gotten this heads up, not to mention the fact that they were aware of his actions prior. They were aware of the kind of guy he was, and they allowed him to continue full rank sergeant and be out there investigating crimes. They allowed him to do this. On top of that, they allowed him to resign instead of firing him, instead of making a statement, instead of using him as an example and saying there is a zero tolerance policy on racism within this department. What that comes off as is they protect their racists. Can police department fucking do better? But I'm not surprised with Chris Albert being on the select board. I mean, he's not anymore, is he? I don't think he is. But it doesn't surprise me because it sure as shit comes off like Canton PD is a racist organization if it protects and signs off on its racist employees. Yeah, those texts are unfortunate. So we're going to give you the chance to go ahead and resign. Because what that comes off as is, it's not, we have a problem with what you said and how you view things. It's unfortunate that those texts became public. So now that they've become public, we just can't have you on the force. So if you want to go ahead, I mean, had they not been public, you would have been fine. We would have just let you keep working. That's how that comes off. 150%, that's how that comes off. How is Canton PD not a racist police department organization? How is it not a racist organization, that police department? How? Other times, the MSP simply looked the other way. For example, in February 2024, 4 months before Ms. Reed's first trial, the MSP was aware they had a problem specifically related to Reed's case. The Department of Justice had begun investigating the investigators and on February 1st questioned Proctor in a grand jury proceeding about text messages he wrote in which he called Ms. Reed a cunt, among other bigoted comments the Department of Justice had found. Proctor was also questioned about his texts at 11 p.m. on January 29th, 2022, that House defendant Brian Albert would escape scrutiny in the investigation because he is a Boston cop too. Further, Proctor was confronted at this grand jury about texts from Julie Albert to his sister, Courtney Proctor, asking to give Proctor a gift for some implied favor he did for the Alberts during their interviews for the case. On February 4th, 2024, Proctor had a meeting and told the highest level of leadership at the MSP, Colonel John E. Mon, recently retired, Lieutenant Brian Connors, recently retired, and Major Leonard Koppenrath, active, about his testimony to the Department of Justice, including his text messages. They did not terminate him, did not immediately ask for his phone, and did not immediately investigate his bigotry. They knew it existed and where to find it, but they didn't want to, at least until Miss Reed's trial was over. Indeed, they tried to hide it from Miss Reed and the public, despite initiating an internal affairs investigation in early March 2024 before the jury in Miss Reed's first criminal trial was even impaneled. It was not until Miss Reed's defense counsel found out about these messages and then used them during the public trial that MSP concluded it couldn't ignore this any longer. MSP proceeded to falsely claim that it only became aware of the messages during the defense's cross-examination and finally terminated Proctor. While Internal Affairs, MSP's Office of Professional Integrity and Accountability launched a probe led by Detective Lieutenant Kevin Dwyer to investigate Proctor's lewd text messages regarding Ms. Reed, the MSP inexplicably assigned two non-OPIA troopers, Major Benson and Captain Barrios, to perform cursory and brief interviews of the Proctors and Alberts, inquiring about their personal relationships with one another. The Proctors and Alberts were not confronted with any text or social media posts depicting their decades-long family-like bond. No outside witnesses were interviewed. No cell phones were seized. No evidence was presented. It was not just reasonably foreseeable, but nearly certain that MSP's and the CPD's failure to use ordinary care in selecting to whom they would impart power would result in members of the public being targeted and severely impacted by officers and troopers' elemental shortcomings. Put differently, the biased and corrupt investigation that harmed Miss Reed was the natural consequence of MSP and CPD hiring and promoting biased and corrupt law enforcement officers. In line with their barely concealed willingness to dehumanize and condemn people, coupled with their readiness to ignore or overlook objective evidence, Procter and Good began the investigation against the female outsider with bias and prejudice fueled by their bigotry. After Procter and Good launched their bias and corrupt investigation, other police officers followed suit and caused harm to Ms. Reed. Jesus, dude. I'm only on page 21 here, bro. Okay? There is a lot to go over. 1 second here. Okay. Yeah, so also it should be noted that it's very interesting the timing that Colin Albert has joined the Army. Very interesting. And it's funny because the only thing that makes me think that Colin Albert was involved in the murder of Boston police officer John O'Keefe is the fact that he's being so strangely protected by everyone. And now it is very odd that he files a lawsuit against Karen Reed and Turtle Boy. He is listed on that lawsuit as a plaintiff and decides to go join the Army before he's scheduled to be deposed. And now this? Fascinating. Fascinating. Now, again, there's a lot here. I don't want, okay, so I'm skipping that. But it goes on to say, as Greg Connor, like everything I skipped is stuff we already know. As Greg Connor, a 25-year veteran prosecutor in that office who is now seeking the role of district attorney, recently said of the Commonwealth's murder charge, the reach exceeded the grasp. And I don't think there was another DA office in Massachusetts that wanted to prosecute Karen Reed. Greg Connor said that himself. That was a nice touch to throw that in there. And then there's the negligence against Massachusetts State Police. Yeah, like we already know all that. Okay, so these are all. All right. Yeah. Sorry, I'm thumbing through this because we don't need to go over all the facts. We know how, like, all of us know, like, the back of our hand, how this investigation was cagged. And this is going into those details again. And we don't need to go over that again. I will go to this point here where, moreover, the initial search conducted by Canton police officers revealed that there was no vehicle debris on the lawn at 34 Fairview, let alone any debris or near Mr. O'Keefe's body. Not a single piece of taillight material was discovered on the lawn or in the roadway that morning, notwithstanding multiple searches and the use of a leaf blower to remove snow. Nor was there a shoe found during that initial search that morning. Telling, despite the commotion outside, including more than a dozen first responders, 3 police cruisers, 2 ambulances, a ladder fire engine, all with the emergency lights flashing, and at least 2 civilian vehicles, plus Miss Reed's screams upon finding Mr. O'Keefe's body. No one from the Albert's house, including police officer Brian Albert, ever went outside to see what was happening, let alone help. They wanted to avoid scrutiny from the police investigators. Sergeant Lank was a longtime friend of the Alberts and the first law enforcement officer to enter the house. He spoke to the Alberts and the McCabe's. Pursuant to their plan, the Alberts and the McCabe's told Sergeant Lank that Mr. O'Keefe had never entered the Alberts' house the night before. The Alberts and McCabe's statements were false. Mr. O'Keefe arrived at and entered the house or garage where he was assaulted, attacked by the Alberts dog, and suffered a fatal injury to the back of his head. You guys want to speculate a little bit? Let's say I'm trying to fit Colin Albert in this whole thing. Okay? So this is just speculation. I don't know. Just a very loose theory. If given Colin Albert was in the house and he was involved in the murder of John O'Keefe, hypothetically speaking. The beef was between Higgy and John. Higgy and John go at it. Chloe attacks. Colin gets involved because Chloe attacks, and John probably tries to defend himself against Chloe. So Colin jumps in. That's what I think. If Colin was involved at all. Let's go on. Despite Mr. O'Keefe's injuries being wholly inconsistent with the story the House defendants were now telling him, neither Sergeant Lank nor other members of the CPD searched the house to determine whether the occupants or anyone else were involved in Mr. O'Keefe's death, nor did they request to search the occupants' cell phones, observe their bodies for evidence of a fight, or even secure the scene where Mr. O'Keefe's body was found. They failed to do so because of bias born of friendship and loyalty in favor of the McAlberts. You guys ever had Diet Mountain Dew? Well, now there's Diet American Dew. 250 years of sunshine and goodness. All right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Oh, wait. Did I already read that? Despite Mr. O'Keefe's injuries, blah, 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 searched. Okay. After Sergeant Lank returned to the CPD 3 hours after the discovery of Mr. O'Keefe's body and more than 2 hours of being interviewed at the Alberts home that morning, Jennifer McCabe called Sergeant Lank to report that she recalled additional information. Except for this one call to Sergeant Lank, McCabe deleted from her phone evidence of all other phone calls she made and received from January 28th, just before 9 a.m. on January 29th. As part of the plan to implicate Ms. Reed and remove suspicion from the House defendants, she falsely told Sergeant Lank that Ms. Reed told her twice that morning, I hope I didn't hit him. More than a year later, a separate proceeding, McCabe changed her story on this topic yet again. And furtherance of the House defendant's plan, McCabe then falsely reported that Ms. Reed outright confessed to hitting Mr. O'Keefe right after she first found him in the snow. Okay, yeah. Proctor leads despite conflicts, blah, 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 blah. Are there any more text messages? Did I already go through all the text messages? Like, all of this is stuff we already know, so. About the taillight pieces and blah, 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 blah. We know all about the taillight pieces. We know all about the shoe. Okay? No mention of the shoe here. But we know all about it, don't we? Let's go after this right here. It was only after Ms. Reed's attorney shared this data with the Commonwealth 2 weeks before McCabe's trial testimony that Tully met with members of the NDAO and McCabe to discuss her visit to Sergeant Lang's home. Because we all know that she went to Sergeant Lang's house on January 29th, 2022. Neither Tully Proctor nor any other trooper memorialized this meeting or McCabe's visit to Sergeant Lang's home. Furthermore, McCabe later testified on May 21st, 2024, that she went straight to Sergeant Lang's house from One Meadows on January 30th. Sorry, January 30th, not 2022. Not January 29th. But her cellular data shows that that too was false. McCabe's phone shows that she stopped at 34 Fairview Road from 5:36 p.m. to 5:40 p.m. And even after this case was filed, some of the investigators have continued to coordinate and work with the House defendants. For example, in the fall of 2025, this is my favorite, one of my favorites, defendant Buchanan repeatedly fundraised for the House defendants on social media sites. He urged support for the House defendants against Ms. Reed's evil chaos and lunacy. This is going real great for you guys, by the way. Because we're not even close to done yet, folks. We're not even close to done yet. Because once I'm done reading this filing, we're gonna go over all the Twitter stuff because there's some fun shit going on. Because there's a lot of people eating crow right now. A lot of really stupid, fucked up people eating crow right now. There's no pedaling back. I fully support Michael Proctor. After everyone knew about the messages that he sent to Karen Reed, bro. Everyone knew about that shit. Not the messages that he sent to Karen Reed, but about Karen Reed. We all know about that shit. We all knew about that then. We knew Michael Proctor was a piece of shit then. So I don't know what the fuck it's going to take you people to understand. Like, anybody defending the McAlberts at this point, in my opinion, are knowingly defending people that they have to believe are cop killers too. Knowingly defending these people. You have to be an absolute piece of shit to support the McAlberts at this point. Like, you get no fucking, like, it's no grace from me. Like, you don't, like, me calling you stupid is me giving you grace. You have to just be a piece of shit to support the McAlberts at this point. It's crazy. It's fucking crazy. Because when you look at all of the I mean, all of the times that these people, like, we found out that all of these people, all of the House defendants, wrote letters to the governor. They wrote letters to the governor. They wrote letters to the fucking chief, to the colonel at the Massachusetts State Police, all begging for Michael Proctor to not be fired. Begging. Sarah Ellen, thank you so much. But they're doubling down. It's insane. We're about to go over some of that shit. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Cans McCabe. Yeah, all this bullshit. Yeah. We already know all this stuff. I think we're done with the text messages. Now, here's the thing. Hold on. Let's just go over. Let's see what the Mighty One said about this. The Mighty Mark Betterow posted a lot of shocking, appalling, and disgraceful text messages. And this is important. This is what I wanted to go over. A lot of shocking, appalling, and disgraceful texts and messages were revealed today. But to lawyers who understand how this all works, including founders of prestigious institutes of law and stuff, this is the most significant and damning. The man has it in his mind to plant evidence and frame people. Nothing will ever change that. That's it. That's in his mind, to plant evidence and frame people. There was no fucking taillight found that morning. All kinds of suspicious behavior leads to Michael Proctor planting taillight evidence at the scene. He has motive to do so. And now we know that he brags. He takes pride in the option of planting evidence on someone if he feels he needs to. Let this sink in, Betterow says. The disgraced cop accused of framing Karen Reed with planted taillight pieces discussed with another officer his willingness to plant evidence. Now imagine what impact this message would have had on Karen's jurors. In addition to these horrific statements indicating to extent what she believed, those with backgrounds, and right, this is in that motion. We already read this. Proctor discussed planting coke on people. Okay. I mean, that shit is wild. What else? And then here we go. Aiden posted, can we start with the former disgraced trooper Leah Genduzzo? Let's listen to her thoughts on black people, remembering that this woman would have a badge and a gun and the ability to racially profile suspects were it not for my award-winning journalism exposing her as a drug dealer. Now, I'm not going to play it. You guys could go follow Aiden yourselves on X. Let's see what Kyle Sharkey posted here. Now, who is Sheenan, Finney, Bass, and Green, Worksman, Jackson, and Quinn? Oh, okay. So is this this is AJ's law firm, and this is their press release on this filing. Karen Reed files suit against Massachusetts State Police and the Canton Police Department. Karen Reed has filed suit against the Massachusetts State Police as well as the Canton Police Department. The complaint was filed this morning in Bristol County Superior Court and is docketed and available at masscourts.org. This case is about two institutions, the Massachusetts State Police and the Canton Police Department, and a culture of bias and corruption that they built, tolerated, and hid from the public for years. Michael Proctor and Sean Good did not slip through the cracks. They were emblematic of the failure to responsibly exercise the trust and faith the public puts in these institutions. Proctor and Good were unfit for positions of public trust, and yet they were handed badges, promotions, and ultimately control of homicide investigations despite harboring deep-seated and abhorrent anti-women, racist, anti-Semitic, and homophobic ideologies for more than a decade. Michael Proctor and Sean Good are not the exception. They are the evidence. The state police knew about Proctor's prejudices and bias in February 2024 and did nothing. Canton reviewed Good's vile messages last year and never terminated him. Rather, Canton allowed Good to keep his rank until he chose to resign 2 days ago on the eve of this lawsuit. This is the culture of these two institutions. As Karen Reed saw firsthand, when agencies fail to ensure that those entrusted with authority, are fit to exercise it, the consequences can be devastating. Karen Reed was acquitted of every charge related to John O'Keefe's death, and now the agencies that negligently permitted virulent, sorry, it's small print here, misogynist and bigots and target her will answer for what they built, what they concealed, and what they did to her. The days of hiding behind badges and promotions while peddling vile bigotry are over. The truth is coming, and with it, an unflinching reckoning. That was basically Alan Jackson's Wyatt Earp moment right there. My man said, "You tell him I'm coming, and hell's coming with me. Do you hear? Hell's coming with me." Alan Jackson got all fucking fired up, bro. Oh, yeah. Let's not forget this shit right here. This is another Aiden Carney post from 7 hours ago. On 7/22/24, Matt McCabe wrote an email to Governor Healy and several other politicians. He wasn't the only one who did, by the way. Urging them not to fire Michael Proctor, who he called a great officer of the state. Now we know that Proctor regularly used the racial slurs, talked about planting drugs on suspects, and discussed raping his girlfriend in her sleep with Sean Good. This is who the McAlberts considered a great officer of the state, because to them, a great officer is someone who doesn't investigate them for their potential involvement in the murder of a cop. In conclusion, I understand the suspension of Trooper Proctor for his unprofessional. I'm sorry, hold on. You know I got to do it right. First of all, let's set the mood. In conclusion, I understand the suspension of Trooper Proctor for his unprofessional behavior is warranted, but in no way should you terminate a great officer of the state. As a Massachusetts state trooper with a young family and a life in law enforcement in front of him, you should not take that away from him. You are aware that Trooper Proctor did not compromise the state police investigation into the death of John O'Keefe. As the leaders of the state of Massachusetts, you should not call her and let the Free Care Ring Group direct and bully you into a regrettable decision. Governor Healy and Colonel Moron, I plead with you to make a statement that shows support for your team. Stand up for the men and women of the Massachusetts State Police. Stand behind the investigation and the charges that were brought against Karen Reed. The removal of Trooper Proctor will only continue the charade that Karen Reed and her defense have unleashed on this great state and will compromise the state's retrial of Karen Reed. Thank you very much for reading this, and I hope you make the right and ethical decision to keep Trooper Proctor on the job. Who the fuck takes Matt McCabe seriously, bro? Does anybody ever take Matt McCabe fucking seriously, bro? Ever? Now, let's read what Plevin had to write. I haven't read a Plevin tweet in a minute. Let's read a Plevin tweet. I just saw the text from Michael Proctor that Howie Carr released. Stunned by how awful they were. That includes Sergeant Good of the CPD. I worked with and hung around with a lot of cops in Worcester, but I owned a bar there. Christ, dude. I saw a lot of locker room humor, cop talk, but these texts don't resemble anything I ever saw with these guys. Not even ballpark. The racist and anti-Semitic nature of these texts is appalling and indefensible. The damage done to the image of law enforcement in the region is incalculable. None of these texts show corruption. However, none of these texts show corruption. No. Planting evidence isn't corruption. No. Talking about raping your girlfriend. That's not corrupt. Right? Talking about people who, Plevin is unbelievable. No, there's no mention of, dude. None of these texts show corruption. However, none show planting evidence in any case, let alone Karen Reed. The fundamental truth in the case remains. She is guilty beyond any. What are you talking about? She was acquitted simply based on evidence the defense presented. Plevin, you are fucking retarded. Nobody takes you seriously. Nobody with any fucking with even the slightest fucking hint of self-respect takes anything that you say seriously, especially now. There's no fucking way. Okay? All of you people, every single, let it be fucking known. Let it be known that anyone who has defended Michael Proctor in any way, shape, or form in the last 2.5 years, in the last 3.5 years, anyone who has defended Michael Proctor is an absolute and utter piece of shit. You are pissed on shit. You are dilapidated. You are a turd that has been pissed on and diluted. That is what you are. You are worth less than nothing. Anyone who is still defending the way this investigation was conducted into Karen Reed, you deserve for disgusting, horrible skin conditions to happen to you in places that you can't scratch. You deserve for this to happen to you. I hope I hope that you get the pink eye from Proctor's farted into couch. That's what I hope you get. You are horrible, horrible fucking people if you have defended Michael Proctor and Sean Good or anybody who has conducted this investigation and anybody who's defended the cops for charging Aiden Carney and having him thrown in jail and having his bail revoked under bullshit. None of you people get any leeway as far as there's no empathy for you at all. You're fucking human waste to me. Human fucking waste. These people violated Aiden Carney's First Amendment rights because they were afraid of this kind of thing becoming public. That is all they were afraid of. The only reason Aiden Carney was charged was the motivation behind Aiden Carney's charges was fear of shit like this being made public. The exposure of Massachusetts State Police corruption, the exposure of Canton Police Department corruption, is what got Aiden Carney charged and what got his bail revoked via a setup and a frame-up and the weaponization of a very troubled young woman. This is undeniable at this point. What else is it going to take to get you to understand that you backed the wrong fucking horse by sitting there and saying that Karen Reed is guilty because you just don't like a guy who happened to be right again? Now, this person did a Spaces.
It doesn't absolve her of responsibility. I mean, I don't know if we're just whittling away to the point where Karen finally one day throws up her hands and goes, okay, well, you shouldn't have charged me with murder. And I think a lot more people can get on board with that than anything else, honestly, like across the aisle here, is that it was probably a manslaughter case. I understand by the letter of the law why they charged her with murder, why she was indicted. I don't think that it was corrupt. I don't think that it was something that was arbitrary or like some sort of abuse of discretion or anything. Like, it was legally sound, but it wasn't a practical charge. And especially after the first mistrial, going in the second time, they probably should have just gone with what they could try, which was manslaughter, which is Greg Connor's point. So I don't know what she's trying to get at there, but like, that was not an endorsement of her factual innocence or whatever she's trying to twist it in.
No, it is. It's purely evidence that they were willing. That is not in and of itself evidence that she's innocent. It is part of a grand pile of evidence that deems that Karen Reed is innocent. It's just another notch. Karen Reed is burning the entire house down. And just imagine. Now, Karen, I got to tell you, we love you. We support you. But leave some for Aiden, okay? Leave some for Aiden. Because he's going to fucking file suit after suit after suit when all this shit is over. And I'm fucking here for it. I can't wait. I can't fucking wait. Sorry, I just want to. Now, remember, Betterow is going to be on News Nation at 11 p.m. What? That can't be right. Who is this? The Karen Reed Justice Crew fans. I don't trust anything coming from that. Saying that I don't even want to repeat it. We'll see. Let's see what Ted Daniels said here. Ted Daniels said, we asked Michael Proctor's side to go on record years ago when questions first started to surface about the Karen Reed case. After reading his insane text messages, I view their refusal to speak with us as and the subsequent withholding of a news release as a badge of honor. Wow. Get him, Ted. I love Ted Daniel, man. I just do. Yeah, let's go with a little oldie here, folks. You gonna go with an oldie? Oldie but a goodie?
Michael Proctor, the state police trooper, being accused of planting evidence outside 34 Fairview Road, was never at Fairview Road on the day of the incident. Proctor and his state police partner traveled together the entire day while other officers were processing 34 Fairview. Trooper Proctor was not there and did not plant evidence at 34 Fairview Road. In addition to having no opportunity to plant the evidence, as has been suggested,
No opportunity.
Proctor would have no motive to do so. Trooper Proctor
No motive
had no
to do so.
close personal relationship with any of the parties involved in the investigation.
No close
had
personal
no
relationship
conflict.
with any of the parties
And he had
involved
no
in the
reason to step
investigation.
out of this investigation. Every suggestion to the contrary is a lie.
Every suggestion to the contrary is a
It should be
lie.
seen from Michael Proctor, the state.
Okay. Shut up, man. Shut up, man. Man, shut up, man. Oh, man. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. This is what I see right here. This is what I see right here. Adam Deitch for district attorney, folks. And again, big shout out to Emily C. for landing that badass interview. That was amazing, for conducting a kick-ass interview with Mr. Adam Deitch for district attorney. In light of today's horrifying text message revelations, he says, I'm calling for Norfolk County District Attorney Michael Morrissey to resign effective immediately. Racism, bigotry, misogyny, and anti-Semitism have absolutely no place in the Massachusetts State Police or the Norfolk County District Attorney's office. They are appalling and shocking, and under my leadership will never be tolerated. For immediate release, Adam Deitch calls for DA Michael Morrissey's immediate resignation. Michael Morrissey should resign his position as district attorney effective immediately. Today's text message revelations represent a devastating blow to the credibility of the state police detective unit in Norfolk County and to anyone who supervised them, including and especially Michael Morrissey. Racism, bigotry, misogyny, and anti-Semitism have absolutely no place in the Massachusetts State Police and the Norfolk County District Attorney's office. They are appalling and shocking, and under my leadership will never be tolerated. I've proudly stood shoulder to shoulder with members of local, state, and federal law enforcement, and I know how hard the overwhelming majority of officers work every day. I've seen the faces of good cops when they uncover the misconduct of bad cops. Today is another dark day for law enforcement in Norfolk County. Adam Deitch, y'all. Adam motherfucking Deitch. You gotta love it. Give him some love for it. Let me see if there was something else that I wanted to go over. Yeah, I mean, this is just unbelievable, folks. Absolutely unreal. This is a big shift that took place here. A big shift. And this is the shift that we knew it was that was gonna happen. It's just a matter of time. Oh my God. Yeah, NBC News said Karen Reed is suing the Massachusetts State Police in the town of Canton, alleging misconduct and negligence in the investigation that led to her prosecution and the death of Boston police officer and her boyfriend. This is a big one, folks. Yeah, so Rebecca from God, what is the name of their channel? Something's Off. She reposted Plevin's thing. It's like, none of these texts show corruption, however. Embarrassing. It is embarrassing to write something so fucking stupid. Plevin, you're fucking retarded, dude. Stop it. Just fucking stop it.
I'm going through.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Greg Connor has known about these text messages for a long time. I'm going to give you guys a chance to give me your thoughts. The phone lines are now open, folks. What's up, Mazza? Yeah, I know. I remember that analogy. She said, they're two different people. Two different people. Greg Connor and Michael Morrissey are two different people. Like, bro, that's like saying Use Your Illusion 1 and 2 are two different albums. Yeah, they were sold separately. It was a marketing fucking it is brilliant marketing. Just sell a long ass album and separate it into two and sell them separately. Brilliant.
Call from the law office of.
You're on. Who am I speaking with?
Hey, this is Peter from Vermont.
Hi, Peter from Vermont. How are you?
Doing very well. This is earth-shaking, this Karen Reed stuff, so I'm glad to be watching you wade through it.
Oh, thank you. It means a lot that you're watching it here. I appreciate that.
Absolutely. I'm totally confused because what I was watching on the internet was a very different time. So I'm totally time shifted. But I don't have much to say. I'm just struck by the corruption in Canton, and it makes me think that it's in every small town. We just don't know about it. And,
I think it's, I wouldn't say every small town, but I'd say it's a lot more common than we would probably imagine it is.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. People taking care of each other.
Sure. I mean, there's no fast food place where somebody's not like, grabbing a soda here and there or grabbing something for free. You know what I mean? Like that's just true. It's just how it is, but it's a question of how bad you let it get. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, it gets past the point where it's like, as a realist, you understand that these things are gonna happen, and you try to nip it in the bud when you catch it. But when you let it get so bad to where it's to the point to where Canton is at this point, I mean, it's insane. Canton PD, right. How do they recover from that? Canton PD, right. Just like they got a heads up from the Massachusetts State Police, so it comes off like the Massachusetts State Police and the Canton PD are looking out for each other and all this, and yeah. And then the Canton PD end up, allowing Good 2 days before this filing to resign.
Right.
Fascinating.
And don't forget, they spent almost $1 million on a police report that whitewashed the town. I guess they didn't get to see these texts. But it is also scary. I think an overwhelming number of officers probably text like that frequently and investigate all sorts of cases. It's probably it's not everybody, but it's probably more than people would be comfortable with. And there's a certain number of people who are just always going to worship anyone in a uniform or always kind of back the blue. socially, and but it's pretty scary. So,
yeah.
Well, I don't want to hog the phone line, Will. It's nice to chat with you. I've been watching the whole saga, so nice to chat with you.
Right on. I appreciate you calling, Peter. Thank you so much, man.
Yep. Have a good one.
You as well, bud.
Bye.
All right, bro. Nobody calls in. I'm just gonna fucking stare at the fucking screen, all fucking awkward, until somebody does. There you go.
Call from.
You're on. Who am I speaking with?
Your friend, Donald from Worcester.
Donald from Worcester. What's up, buddy?
This is horrible. This makes us all look so bad. But
what do you mean, Donald from
Worcester?
Worcester? You guys don't, you guys at the Worcester PD don't exchange text messages like that with each other?
It's a funny thing that we don't. But it's just so. There's got to be a ton. They had to know about this. These guys. I mean, that's just too much.
Right.
You know, they had to know.
The department knew. Yeah, both the MSP and the Canton PD for sure knew that this was.
And they gave him the heads up. The release was coming, so he could resign. I would, you know. I know other departments would probably not let you resign, and they would start the investigation and fire you. Because, you know, why give him a pension? I don't know if he's going to have much of a pension, but
right. It's a lot. It's
job.
a lot of covering their own ass. Like there's no actions being taken here where it's like, let's get to the bottom of this and fix the problem. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like there's nothing that indicates that that's a priority or that's even an intention.
Which will lead themselves down to a worse road, because the cover-up is worse than the crime, as we all know. But it makes you wonder, what do these people have on each other?
Who knows,
You know,
man?
they're all.
It's dirty,
And
dude. There's
can you-
like that situation is dirty, bro. Like
That's even worse than dirty. It's like evil dirty.
right. There's some like deep,
that's
dirty shit going on there.
Yeah, that's a mindset and an evil soul that talks like that. But
like,
doesn't with impunity.
can you
Like,
imagine?
They
Like,
can walk around with all the power.
can you imagine like what Tully and Buchanan are actually like? You know, if we know Proctor and Good are like this, imagine Tully and Buchanan.
Especially Bukaki.
Yeah.
The way he testified in both trials with that smug, condescending attitude, and oh yes, so this was an impeccable, straight up investigation. He's the best investigator. Please, I can't even imagine how bad he is. He's just an ass. If I ever ran across him on a detail, something like, get the fuck out of here. Go stand under. I swear to God, I'd have him guarding a flagpole. That would be his assignment. Honest to God.
God, the flagpole. I love it.
Yeah. And don't leave. You can leave on your 20-minute lunch break, and you get permission.
Yeah.
It's just. But I think they sent him. Well, he got quote unquote demoted, because when you're the detective sergeant, you get more pay. So he's just a regular sergeant now.
Right.
But I can't even. Can you imagine what was the night of the incident? What was on Brian Albert's phones and Higgins' phones?
Who knows, man? Yeah, that's crazy. Like, I mean, they destroyed their phones, and people are still acting like, "Oh, that's no big deal. That doesn't prove anything."
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean, dude? What do you mean? It's the most suspicious behavior in the world.
I'm just wondering now, does the MSP and the Canton PD, did they sit down with the town lawyers and the estate lawyers and go, what number should we offer them? What's a good price?
Wow.
This is going to be, this goes to trial.
Yeah.
It's going to open some doors.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm kind of embarrassed. For all the good guys and gals out there that do, like Aiden was talking about his buddy there this morning. That's a trooper. That's like the straightest guy he knows. And he's just he was a roommate with him, I guess, when they were younger. And whoever the trooper is, I don't know him. But Aiden said he's just squared away. He goes, I thought troopers were all like squared nerds because of the kid he knew, that they're all clean. And because when I was a kid, with Massachusetts State Police, like that was the elite of the elite. They ruined it. They ruined themselves.
Yeah, that's terrible.
Everyone wants to be a trooper, but not anymore. Not anymore. But yeah.
They got to house cleaning, man. Like, and I think it's got to start. I think it's got to start up top in the governor's office. They need to get some new blood in the governor's office. I think, and and just do a whole overhaul of the way things are done in the state.
At some point they got to put their foot down and say, you know what? Fuck it. We're starting from scratch. Actually, they delayed the academy. There was an academy supposed to be going in shortly. They delayed it to rewrite policies because of the Delgado boxing fiasco.
Yeah.
So what's this going to do?
Right.
With their background checks and everything like that. Boston PD, according to Aiden, rejected Proctor and so they must have done a real background check on him.
Right.
And the state police are just letting anyone on. Are you kidding me?
It's crazy, man. Like if they're understaffed, they will compromise their standards for who they hire. It's crazy. It's just like any other job. It's like any other, like if they're desperate enough, they're going to lower their standards for who they're going to let on.
Well, you remember it was at 1980 or so in Miami when they couldn't hire people. They lowered their standards, the Miami PD, and they had gangbangers on the force, like literal gangbangers.
Crazy, bro.
Well, you live down there, you probably know that.
Yeah, well, I mean that was a little before my time. I didn't get there for another 8 years, but
okay.
But I mean, everybody knows Miami was just all you got to do is watch Cocaine Cowboys, like all of them.
Yeah,
and the whole Miami, all of South Florida was just built on cocaine money.
Yeah, it was.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
they're better looking strippers though on cocaine than heroin. Signal Hill down in Tennessee, Signal Mountain. How's that?
I don't think I've ever even been to Signal Mountain.
Oh, okay. A couple guys are retiring. Two or three are going out to South Carolina. A couple guys going to Tennessee.
Okay.
I'm still thinking about it. We'll see.
Yeah, stop moving here, man. Like it's like America's best kept secret, man. Like I was saying this on Jimmy's channel. I was like, yo, y'all need to listen. Tennessee is fucking great. It's fantastic. But I'm not there's no corruption, at least nothing to get in a twist over here. And so I don't want stop moving here. Don't move here. Massachusetts people, because Massachusetts people are like, when are you going to move here? I'm not moving to Massachusetts because Tennessee is great, but don't move here. Sit tight, hang back, and I'm going to do everything in my power, at least on my end. It isn't much. I don't have that much of a platform, but I'm going to do everything on my end to make Massachusetts more like Tennessee, but sit tight. Don't move here. Just sit tight. Just
all right.
And this way we can help make Massachusetts more like Tennessee. That's the point of what we're all doing here, isn't it?
I like that. That's your new platform.
Exactly.
Make Massachusetts more Tennessee.
Exactly. Just sit tight. Sit tight. That's the goal.
All right. I'll take your advice, sir. Again, great presentation as always. It was horrible. It's just evil. My father was a Worcester sergeant for 32 years. And when I came on the job, he told me, listen, you're dealing with people whose circumstances probably aren't the best going on, because you're going to be dealing with people that need the police.
Right.
And so treat them nice. You know, they got problems. You got to understand that. And he had told, I forgot what I was going to say. And I'm getting too old. I'll think of it and I'll call you back the next time. But anyways, all right, I'll let you go, and we'll talk again soon.
All right, Donald from Worcester. Thanks for calling, buddy.
Call from
Robert Cobb.
You're on. Who am I speaking with?
Hey, Will, how you doing? It's Bob Cosgrove, your buddy.
Specially appointed prosecutor Robert Cosgrove. Oh, wait.
What's happening?
Hold on. I got to refresh again, man.
Oh, okay.
That's really annoying. Well, because I can't do, like, it always does that when you call. I don't know why. Not yet.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, we are. Now we are.
All right, how's it going?
Specially appointed prosecutor Robert Cosgrove, everybody.
Man, what a day. It started out. Yeah, it started out they were going to do the psychoanalysis of Jim Altman. And
oh, yeah.
That didn't work out.
Why didn't that work out? What happened with that?
Well, I don't know. Jimmy wasn't there, or he was there, but Turtle was going to postpone it, and then boom, this came in,
right?
And then all of a sudden we were on to this, and I was like, oh my god!
Yeah, this is. I mean, it's not like you can ignore it. We've been waiting for this. We knew that there was a text. I had no idea that it was going to be this bad. Like, I just can't imagine. I can't imagine. That anybody could think of things this disgusting, you know?
That's what I've been saying all day. Like, nobody could have ever, picked the over, you know what I mean? The over under, and pick the over on this.
Like I'm vulgar as fuck. You know what I mean? But like, that's beyond. Oh my God, it's so horrible.
Vulgar. I mean, that's kindergarten stuff compared to this guy.
Right.
He's an equal opportunity racist.
Yeah, this is. He hates everyone. Like that was all hatred.
I mean, he hit every base in his grand slam and hit every base on the way home. Like he didn't miss anybody.
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot more out there. They wouldn't send the whole thing out there. This isn't it. You can't.
No, because we didn't see the actual text about the planning coke.
Right.
They just described it. So there's more out there, I'm sure. Like there's audio. There's audio messages. Like there's audio messages. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
And those are going to hit differently.
Right.
You know?
Those are going to hit way different.
Those are going to hit different.
For sure.
And, a couple of things. The 5 stone, that guy brought up a good point in the first call. The 5 stones audit of the Canton Police Department ended, I believe, I just looked it up, so it's not ended in, how long have they known about these? Do you remember?
For a year, I think.
For a year. All right, let me look. It went from it was released. It was released on April 1st, 2025.
Yeah, they're saying that it's only a handful in the motion. I mean, yeah, because there's 12 years worth of messages. These guys have been knowing each other since they were fucking kids.
Well, yeah, that's another thing. Another thing that Krusty brought up during her spaces there. She said, well, it's 13 years worth of messages. Michael Proctor is in, I think he's 44 years old. That would mean he's in his very low 20s, he said. And that's not how numbers work, Kay. And they're like, yeah, he was probably just getting out of the police academy or something like that. I'm like, yeah, 44
I have
minus 13
never
is not.
talked like that. I have never talked like that. I've never thought like that. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, man, like the one that really got me was like he was like saying like he wanted like an insect to go into maybe his girlfriend and then lay eggs,
Right.
and then have the larvae either from the inside out.
Like,
what?
That's a sick individual, you know? Like, that's a
Like,
sick
bro,
individual that he took the
what are
time
we
to type
doing,
that.
dude?
Right. Yeah. Have you ever like thought about talking to somebody, or like, why is his friend like just like encouraging this shit? It's crazy.
Yeah, and I mean, they're all like that. I mean, they're all on these. Remember the Chicos and all. Baba Buchanan. I mean, they're all on the same text things. They talk like this, man.
Yeah, for sure. Like, there's a serious culture problem, as the motion states. Serious culture problem.
Yeah. Serious culture problem.
Yeah.
What was I going to say? You remember also when Proctor said, and we said his feelings got the best of him because he was upset what had happened to John O'Keefe?
Right. No, you're a racist prick. You're just a racist, fucking bigoted, misogynistic douchebag. That's it.
Do you think anything upsets this guy? I mean, give me a break. I mean, his thoughts.
No, because he's always upset anyway. He's just a
Right.
miserable piece of shit.
Right. Or he's such a complete crazy racist that he really was upset because John was a white Irish man. So I don't know which way to take it, but he wasn't upset about anything. He didn't let his feelings get in the way. I mean, come on.
Yeah, no. I mean, that's just what he's gonna say. He never saw when he testified. He never thought those text messages were ever gonna come out. He never knew. He never thought that for a second.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are trying to make the comparison. I mean, there's no comparison. Oh, I've heard Turtle Boy say worse. No, you haven't.
No, you haven't.
No, you haven't.
Nope.
No, you haven't. I haven't heard anybody say anything like that.
No.
And I've been,
like Team Cancer
I've been around
doesn't.
some colorful people.
Team Cancer doesn't count. Like that's just fucking funny because he just fucking hates the person, and it's reasonable to fucking suspect that he's fucking lying about it anyway. So that's why it's funny. That's why it's so out there, like where he feels comfortable going Team Cancer. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
And just the fact that it bothers people so much is just really funny to me. I find it hilarious.
Plus, that person said something very awful about him, and that was his response. If you remember back.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, that's right.
It was in connection to the whole Alex thing. You know what I mean? So
right.
I don't even want to say it, but
yeah.
This guy's talking about crowbars and concentration camps.
And
slavery. Like what, bro? Like
it's a lot,
man. It's a lot. Showing up at accidents and let them die, let them suffer. Jesus,
Yeah, it's a lot.
And they're still trying to make this argument like, oh, he was just talking to his friends, blowing off steam. Yeah, it's not working anymore. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You might have got away with that before with the other stuff, but we're done, but you don't get to do that anymore. Sorry.
Right.
But Chris Albert stands with if that is his account, he responded to me and said, I stand with Proctor. So if that's his account, I don't know if it is.
Yeah, good. Makes
Right.
it easier to, like Like, it just
Right.
makes it easier to lump you pieces of shit up with the same pieces of shit who we lumped you up with before in the first place. So you're all lumped up
Exactly. I was
together, the
like,
same
great.
pieces of shit that you always were. Great. No corrections necessary.
Yeah.
Got it.
You're in good company. We pretty much expected that.
Right.
They're going to love that down the pizza shop.
Right.
You know, blood pizza doesn't sound
Bro,
so
none of
bad
those
anymore, does it?
those fucking forensic rooms, dude, and they're never gonna get, dude. Those people are never gonna raise enough money for this lawsuit. They're never gonna be able to do it now. Like, there's just no fucking way. I'm going to be extremely suspicious of where that money is coming from if they continue this
Where's
lawsuit.
it coming from?
I'm going to be extremely
Yep.
suspicious of that, because after this, the fact that these people have openly supported Michael Proctor, has been a family friend of his, you're going to tell me that I mean, it's like you were saying earlier. I mean, you're going to tell me that since the McAlberts have known the Proctors all this time, they never heard him talk like this? He never felt comfortable talking like this in front of them?
Right. They don't
Yeah.
know he says stuff
No,
like that. He's been around for 13 years.
I absolutely suspect that they talk just like he does. I absolutely suspect it. That the
Yeah,
McAlberts
also-
are all a bunch of racist fucking cop killing pieces of shit. That's exactly what I think.
Yeah, and at one point I was starting. I mean, I don't know if I should. I was starting to be like, free Lizzie earlier. You know, like, yeah, does she even
Nah.
know?
She has to know.
You don't think?
She has to know.
Yeah,
She has to know.
that's crazy.
She lived with
stuff
the
he
man.
was saying, I mean, they did say girlfriend. I don't know if it was her as his girlfriend, but it would seem so, right? I mean, the stuff he was saying about her when she goes to sleep and roofies and
Crazy.
oh,
Crazy.
wow. I mean, I couldn't believe it. But anyways, yeah, it's a long day. But I would like to know about that Five Stones agency, because that audit was complete, absolute, and utter bullshit.
Right. Especially knowing that now, knowing what we know now. Yeah. That Five Stones thing is fucking definitely not legit. That audit was bullshit.
I'll never forget when they shut down Peter Murphy, too, in the middle of his question.
Yeah.
That pissed me off so bad.
Agreed.
He was trying to make a point, and they're like, "Oh yeah, thank you, Mr. Murphy. Sit down, please." Your
Yeah,
time is up."
what
It's
this
like, what?
does is like everything that you didn't want to play devil's advocate for, like you would suspect, okay, some shit, like every place that your mind went to the worst place, you didn't allow it to because you didn't have enough.
Yeah.
That's all gone now. Now, yes, like it's the worst thing that you thought is confirmed, basically.
It's the worst. Squared
It's
times
pure
10.
good old bullshit, classic corruption happening in Norfolk County. It is all it is. It's very basic and it's just in there. It's what it is. It's the culture there. That's it.
Yeah, it's wild stuff, man.
Right.
Anyways, listen, Will, I'll let somebody else call in. I'm sure people would like to speak with you. Thanks for having me on your presentation there, Will Glad.
Always a pleasure to have you, especially appointed prosecutor Robert Cosgrove, everybody.
Call from
Nadine.
You're on. Who am I speaking with?
call from
You're on. Who am I speaking with?
Oh, she's pissed off today.
What?
She's very mad today.
Who's very mad today?
Crazy Brazilian.
Oh, crazy Brazilian lady. What's up, crazy Brazilian lady?
I am pissed.
Oh yeah, why are you pissed? What are you pissed about?
Why I'm pissed?
About what?
Calling Brazilian retards?
Oh yeah. He did say that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I am mad. I can't believe this shit.
Yeah.
And about all those poor people in Sharon, right next to Canton, I am very mad. Sorry. I don't know
Yeah.
if you don't want to talk about this, but you sound you not.
I
You don't want to
just
get in too much to this.
Yeah, I mean, it's been established that he's a racist piece of shit, but that's why I skipped a lot of the messages, just because it's like, all right, you can see them for yourself. You don't need me to read them out loud. They're it's bad. It's bad. And the Canton PD knew about it, and the Massachusetts State Police knew about it. And it's just, and the Norfolk County District Attorney had to know about it.
Of course they did.
Of course.
And do you know why? Now it makes so much sense why Tully retired.
Yeah. They knew all of this was coming to a head. All of this is coming to a head.
And he probably will just wait a couple months for another year that on his books.
Right.
For his retirement. It must be.
Probably.
Oh, I wish if I was a fly. Do you think Proctor gonna show up Monday? I don't think so.
I mean, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
Because they always skipping.
Yeah.
They're truth tellers, but they never gonna show up.
Right.
Okay, well, have a good day.
All right. Thanks for
Actually,
calling.
good night.
Thanks for calling. Bye.
Call from
You're on. Who am I speaking with?
Jane.
Hi, Jane.
Hi, I'm from, sorry, first time Galera. I'm from Norfolk County and I'm actually from Canton.
Okay.
And I am just sitting here in shock. Don't feel safe anywhere.
Yeah. Yeah. It's terrible. Terrible.
It's crazy. I mean, I've watched it from day one. And, to me it was obvious. To others, not. You watch your P's and Q's.
Yeah.
But, I'm just really glad Karen was found innocent because she is.
Right.
But now with this being out,
Yeah. So you're gonna get out there and vote for Adam Deitch, right?
most certainly am. I called to get a sign on my front lawn.
All right. So you're already getting the sign on your
Deitch.
front lawn and everything. Good.
Yep. Deitch is the guy. Everybody should know it. I've been saying it loud and clear.
Yeah. And I mean good with,
So that's
without the E at the end is the good I mean.
That's goody. All right. I just wanted to say that. It's just sad times.
It is, yes, but you'll get through it. I mean, it's going to be a little tough for a minute, but this is how change happens,
Yeah.
It's going to take a little while.
Yeah, but I don't know. Tennessee is looking good.
No, it's not. Don't worry. We'll get Massachusetts more like Tennessee, I promise. You just stay put.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Thanks. Bye.
Bye. All right, folks. That's going to be it for me. It's been a hell of a day, right, guys? I really appreciate you guys hanging out. Mateo, not fail. I fucking love it. Hold on. We got to do it.
I think we got a super cat. Super fan. I think we got a super cat. Super fan. Super cat. Super fan. 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 I think we got a super cat. I think we got a super cat.
Mateo, not fail. Kid, how crazy can shit get? Please send my respect to all non-wasps in Canton. I stand with you. Yes. Thank you so much. Oh my God. Yes. You guys are absolutely amazing and fantastic. I had a great time. Oh my God. I also, wait a second. I got a Cash App from Ralph. Ralph says, thanks, Will. Sent $25 Cash App. Thank you so much. You guys are amazing. So yeah, the link for all that stuff is right here at the bottom. And again, Turtle Boy was right. You can also donate to Turtle Boy's Defense Fund so that because all this stuff is just going to add to make for great. I mean, they should just drop the charges against him. They should just drop the charges against him. I'd like to know if Adam Deitch plans on dropping the charges against Turtle Boy if he's elected. Anyway, guys, I love you guys very much. Make sure to donate to Turtle Boy's Defense Fund, which is in the description. Forgot to pin it to the chat. Peaches gifted a membership. Thank you guys so much. Oh my God. Thank you guys so much for all your support. You guys have been amazing. I'm so grateful for you guys. Remember, folks, it only takes a second to stay safe. And being retarded has never stopped anybody from being a good neighbor, unless, of course, you're a McAlbert. Guys, I love you very much. And we will do this again very, very soon, my friends.
Watch out!
Today, being retarded means leading a full life. Retarded people go to work or school, just like their neighbors, and come back to a real home. A supervised home, right in the neighborhood, where they belong. Being retarded never stopped anyone from being a good neighbor.